guys guide this one, okay?
Okay. Coach, congrats on the win. Always a battle with Cincinnati, a young group. Just talk about jumping on a young team like them, because they can hurt you if you let them hang around in the match.
I mean, yeah, they're young. They have young players contributing to them, but it's the same team that beat Florida State. They've gone 5 with other top teams, and they're dangerous. They're athletic, and you don't want to get into a pound-for-pound, shot-for-shot deal with them. Your best chance is to get on them fast and really just keep the pressure on them offensively and with your serve. Now, with the serve, you keep the pressure on them. They can't attack at you very well. You're getting blocks or digs, and then you're transitioning for points right away. And then, the stuff blocks I thought were huge. I really, it's something we've been working on. We're so big, and sometimes we block way higher than what we need to. We really just need to control the 8 inches over the top of the net and then pick everything else up from there. And I thought we did a pretty decent job of that. After the first few points, I thought they scored, their only kills were off of our block. But after that, I thought we did a nice job of lining up and keeping their kill numbers down.
I believe it was another 19 kills for McKenna today. Can you talk a little bit about an offense as a whole, specifically, how you think they kept those high margins?
Oh, she had a matchup. It's pretty simple. They decided to start with their setter in the front row, something that we weren't expecting that they would do because McKenna is in the front row, and they knew that she was going to be in the front row. And so McKenna just got to line up against their setter. And all of a sudden now it just becomes a mismatch in terms of height. Now their setter got her a couple times, but for the most part, McKenna was able to manage really well. I mean, you take out the errors from the back row attacking where we were out of system, and they had, was that Carrier? They had Carrier number 3 in the front row. She's big. That's a big woman with very long arms, and if you don't try to work your way around her, she's going to stuff you. But if you do try to work your way around her, you're going to hit it out of bounds sometimes. And McKenna hit it out of bounds and got stuffed a couple times. So really, if I'm not mistaken, all but one of her errors were out of the back row. And she had probably a 400, 500 game otherwise. But, the goal was to try to keep things as balanced as possible. But when they give you that kind of an opportunity to have your best player over their setter, you got to take it. And so it kind of skewed the game from what normally would happen.
Speaking of Caitlin and Chloe and their growth, from where they were last year to where they are today, I think Chloe had another 13 digs today, and Caitlin, great serving. Just speak to their growth and their roles.
Yeah, there's not a lot of digs to be had out there. I mean, the first set, I think we only had 9 digs. And I did the math, and they got 7 kills. They had 8 errors. That's 15 of their 28 swings. And then we had 9 digs, and then all the rest were blocks. So we're not getting a lot of opportunities to get digs right now, and we haven't all year long. We're dead last in the conference in digs, but it's because our block is doing a really nice job of setting things up, slowing things down. They're having to hit a lot of down balls and easy balls back at us, and we're transitioning, and we don't get digs when they roll the ball over or they pass it over. So we're the worst defensive team in the conference according to statistics, but there's a reason for that, and I'll take that reason any day of the week. But in terms of the growth of the 2 that you talked about, I love the fact that they're competing. They're competing for a jersey, and that libero jersey is very coveted. And last year we settled in on. Sorry, I want to call her by her nickname, but I shouldn't do that here. We settled in on Grimes by the end of the year, and Chloe got better this year, a little bit more consistent. So Chloe was in the jersey this year. Caitlin provided a very important serving, defense, passing, support role, and she settled into it really well. And any team needs that. You need your libero to be sharp. Then you need that secondary back row player who, for 3 rotations, is just solidifying the serve receive. And so that's what she goes in there and that she does. You get those 2 with McKenna passing, and you got a pretty good passing lineup.
In 2 weeks, you'll play Houston once again. Is there any extra motivation training for for that, or just next game?
You haven't been here very long, have you?
Next game.
I don't even know who we play next, and that's the honest to God's truth. I don't know. I don't know what the order is. I think it's the Northwest. Is it the Northeast?
Northeast, yeah. Yep. Temple at ECU. Yep.
Okay, so it's the North.
Yes.
So when I start looking at film tonight and tomorrow, that's who the focus is on. I mean, there's no need to get bent out of shape over a match that's 2 weeks away. And yeah, I mean, there's a chance that match could mean something, and I'm sure they're thinking the same way, but I'm sure they're approaching it the same way we are. That match doesn't matter anything before these matches take place first. So right now, the focus is still on us getting better. Even this late in the year, the focus is on trying to get the little things better, be as formidable as a team as you can. If we win the championship along the way, that's great, but I think right now, as important as the championship is to the team and the school and everything like that, getting into the NCAA tournament and trying to make a run this year, I think that's something that's higher on the list. And so rather we do, rather we don't, that's to be seen, but we definitely want to put ourselves in a position that we are ready for the NCAA tournament when that day comes.
Speaking of the NCAA tournament, you all got together after the match to watch women's soccer win in PKs against NC State. First of all, what was it like to watch that as a fan there watching PKs? And then talk about the success with, softball hosting a regional net and getting to the supers, the women's soccer winning the conference title, your success, et cetera, the track and field, indoor and outdoor. I mean, it goes on and the success of all the sports, but especially in the women's sports.
Yeah, I think the guys' sports are doing well too, and they really give us the opportunity to do what we do. Let's be real, right? Football, basketball gives us the opportunity to do what we want to do, but there is a camaraderie amongst the coaches of the women's sports. It's very tight because we know how hard it is. We all know how hard it is to climb from something and then go somewhere with it. Sometimes against the odds. But we respect the work that each other has to put in to be good. We respect the work that has to go in to advance into NCAA tournaments. It was so much fun sitting there with a crowd of people, including our athletic director, Terry, and our sports supervisor, Chris, watching that PK moment. I don't know if there's a more exciting end in sports, in college sports, than PKs. Our 15-point shoot 'em out, game 5 is exciting, right? And college football is both possessions from the 20-yard line. That's exciting, but there's nothing like PKs because that's, in that case, that's woman against woman. That's me against you. One of us is going to win. One of us is going to lose. That's it. There is no more sudden death reality television than PKs. So that was really exciting. I'm really proud of Tiff and the squad and look forward to seeing them advance because they've got something special going on over there. And so right now they get to take the lead and we're all going to try to follow in their footsteps this year.
Do you all feed off each other, not only as players, but as coaches too? Because I know you all talk to each other and pick each other's brain.
We talk to each other all the time. We always support each other in wins and losses, big games. But we do. We talk to each other all the time because if volleyball can make soccer better and soccer can make softball better and softball can make volleyball better, it makes all of us better, And I think it's important, if you're going to have a strong athletic department, you're going to call yourself a premier athletic department, then your women's sports better be helping carry the torch. And I think that's something that all of us take so seriously. For UCF to be a true athletic department, well-rounded, the women's sports have to carry the weight. And, other teams are going to get on TV more. They're going to be playing more higher profile contests. But it's up to us to make this a well-rounded athletic department. And Terry gives us the resources and the opportunity to do that, and we're taking advantage of it right now.
Both girls mentioned senior night coming up as well. Emotionally, has that started to set in on the team at all?
I don't know. I think you'd really have to ask them. It doesn't for me. I'm like, what's next? What's the next point? What rotation are we in? I haven't had a chance to think about that stuff yet. It's still 2 weeks away. And to be honest with you, I don't want to think about it. I don't want to think about it right now. I don't want to think about, the finality, the terminality of them playing their last matches and moving on. I'm not ready for it to end. So, the plans will be made behind the scenes that need to be made, for the people that need to make them. But as far as us, we got way too much happening before that happens. So, I'm sure they're staring the mortality of their college career, and they're looking at, what can I do to leave something behind before my final X number of matches are over? So I'm sure they're looking at it from that perspective. I only have so much time to leave my legacy. But in terms of the finality of it, I don't think anybody's really thinking about it right now. There's way too much on the line.
Of course, you got the road trip up in the Northeast coming up. But what's the approach when you're going to a Northeast place to go back-to-back trips? What's the week going to be like?
Nothing different but wearing warmer jackets. I mean, you practice the same, the schedule, the series of everything will be the same, the sequence will be the same, how we prepare will be the same. It's going to be a little bit colder. And we're an indoor sport, so that doesn't really matter a whole lot. We're not changing one dang thing. We've kept the same formula for years, and I believe that student athletes are creatures of habit. I think they like to be comfortable. I think they like to know what's next all the time. And so we have not changed anything by a minute.